Right, let's just jump right in with the big question, right? You did everything you were supposed to. You saved up 100 bananas, that's a lot of bananas, and yet you still can't buy a house. What gives? Why does it feel so impossible?
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with that 100 banana problem, then walk through getting the bank on your side, actually winning the house, navigating all the surprise fees, and finally, what it's really like to live with a mortgage.
Okay, first up, the 100 banana problem. Let's dig into why that pile of savings you're so proud of is, well, just the very first step on a very long road. When you think about it, there are pretty much three ways to get a house. Option one, just be super rich and buy it with cash. Easy enough. Option two, you could inherit one, assuming your parents are, you know, done with it. So for pretty much all of us, that just leaves option three. You go to the monkey bank and ask for a big loan.
All right, so you've picked your path. You're getting a loan, but now comes the hard part. You've got to face the gatekeeper, the monkey bank, and prove that you're worth the risk. So, what even is a mortgage? It's just a fancy word for a huge loan that lets you buy a house right now. The catch? You have to promise to pay it all back in little pieces over a really, really long time. We're talking 15, even 30 years.
Now, the bank isn't just going to give this money to anyone. They need to know they'll get it back. So they're going to look at three main things. Do you have a steady job? Have you been good about paying your bills in the past? That's your credit score. And do you have some of your own savings to put in?
And boom, that's where your 100 bananas come in. That's your deposit, or what's called a down payment. It's usually about 10 to 20% of the house's price. It's your way of showing the bank, hey, I'm serious. I've got some of my own skin in the game here.
So if the bank looks at your job, your credit, and your banana stash, and they like what they see, you get pre-approved. This is huge. It's basically the bank giving you a green light and telling you the maximum amount of money they'll lend you. Now you can actually start looking for a house.
You've got your pre-approval letter in hand. Now the really fun part starts, right? The great jungle hunt for your dream banana house. But finding it is one thing. Winning it is another.
So you search, and you finally find it, the one. The next step is to make an offer. Simple enough. The seller can say yes, or they can say no. But what happens if a bunch of other monkeys want that exact same house? Well, that's when things get a little crazy. You might end up in an auction. This is exactly what it sounds like. All the buyers get together and just start yelling out numbers, each one higher than the last. It keeps going up and up and up until only one person is left. It can get intense and expensive really fast. But let's say you did it. Your offer was accepted, you won, you're about to pop the champagne, but hold on. Just when you think it's over, you get slammed with what I like to call the trial of 1,000 fees. It starts out pretty small. First, there's the application fee. Yup, you have to pay them just for the honor of applying to pay them more money. Makes sense, right? Okay, next up, you have to pay for an appraisal, which is just someone making sure the house is actually worth what you're paying. And then an inspection fee to make sure the place isn't secretly full of termites or about to fall over. Then we get into the legal stuff. You'll pay for a title search to prove the monkey selling the house really owns it, and you'll pay for title insurance, which protects you just in case they, didn't. And of course, you can't forget everyone else who wants a piece of the pie. You've got lawyer fees for drawing up all the paperwork, and then the government steps in for things like transfer taxes and recording fees to make it all official. And wow, okay, when you see them all listed out like this, it's a lot. It really is a blizzard of fees. And see, that's the tricky part, right? Each one by itself doesn't seem like a huge deal, but when you add them all up, we're talking about a huge pile of bananas that you probably didn't even budget for. These are your closing costs. You made it. You survived the fee frenzy, you signed a mountain of paper, and you finally have the keys. But believe it or not, the journey isn't over. Actually, the longest part has just begun. For the next 15 or 30 years, you'll be making payments. And a big chunk of that is interest. That's the bank's fee for letting you borrow their money. You'll have to choose a fixed rate, where your payment is the same every single month, or an adjustable rate, which can start lower, but then go up or down, kind of like a roller coaster. If you're still not convinced how serious this whole thing is, get this. The word mortgage, if you trace it back to Old French, it literally means death pledge. I'm not kidding. A death pledge. The idea was that the debt only ends when it's paid or when you die. It's a bit intense, for sure, but man, it really drives the point home, doesn't it? So in the end, it really is a massive trade-off. The pros are great. You get a house without having all the cash up front, your credit score gets a boost, and the house will probably be worth more down the line. But the cons are serious. You're in debt for a huge part of your life, your payments could jump up, and if you miss too many payments, the bank can literally take your house away.
And honestly, after going through all that, when you look at the actual housing market today, with the prices and the interest rates, this reaction pretty much says it all. It's a lot to take in.
Which really brings us to the one final question you have to ask yourself. Knowing everything we've talked about, the pile of bananas you need to start, the decades of debt, that blizzard of fees, and all the risk, is that dream banana house really worth the death pledge? Well, that's a question only you can answer.